Welcome to Roof Coating Empire. I'm Max Resnich. Today I have the pleasure of having Jeremy Perry from United Contracting Roofing. How's it going, Jeremy?
Good, Max. Man, it's a pleasure. I appreciate you, man.
Likewise. So I just want to start things off by saying we've been working for quite a while now, and it's been an absolute pleasure getting to know you, getting to help United. Can you tell our viewers and our listeners a little bit about your background, how you got into roofing, and what the journey's been like since everything started?
Yeah, well, the journey of getting into roofing, that'd be a long journey, but to give you the Cliff Notes version, I've been in roofing since 2012, even started as a residential sales rep for a company in Dallas, Texas. To make a very long story short, moved to Georgia and started a company primarily focusing on insurance claims and residential roofing. Well, as our business continued to grow, everybody's always got the aspect that the grass is always greener and you want to start chasing the big fish in commercial. So as we really started growing our residential platform, we made a plan where we would take some of our top residential team and move them into chasing commercial roofs. So I think it was 2022 we got with you. Is that right?
Sounds right.
Yeah. Through the referral of one of my closest friends that owns another roofing company. And man, I think that, having you guys was definitely a blessing. I don't believe that we would have gotten where we're at now in the commercial roofing space had we not had you guys to help accelerate our growth from the very beginning. Because, whenever we first started, really didn't have a clue on how to market, how to go after the business, where to find the leads, where to get people that are actually buying. And the roofing space, the marketing is, especially SEO, internet marketing is such a competitive space and it can get very expensive. And there's 1,000 different avenues that you can go spend money and resources on to try to acquire business, but finding the right one that actually produces something is tough. We just closed and just finished our biggest contract that we landed through a RoofEngine lead that was like $2.9 million. We first inspected the roof on October 15th, 2023, and we just finished the roof like 2 days ago or 2 weeks ago. So it took a long time from lead to inspection to close to actual production and to finishing everything out. But man, that one job alone would pay for about 10 years of your services. So it's well worth it, man. Early on in our first year, I think we had an opportunity at a 5,000 square TPO replacement, as well as some coatings on some of the metal buildings. To be honest with you, we just probably weren't to that level at that time. We were new in the commercial roofing space. But still, even though that we got on that opportunity, now we're better prepared for the next time that we had that opportunity. And I firmly believe that one of the reasons we were able to land the $2.9 million job was because we had that opportunity back in 2022 where we were on a $4 million job at the 5,000 square. And we went through the whole bidding process. We were right down to the final table, and finding roofs like that are that size and that you're actually getting with real buyers, people that aren't just getting budget numbers for 3 years from now or just kicking the can, wanting to try to make minimal repairs throughout the roof system. Those deals are hard to find. And we've had several opportunities through your platform on the wells, if you will.
If you were starting over in the commercial game, what advice would you give to yourself?
Buy a RoofEngine, man. I would say that not being too nearsighted, right? These things take a long time, and there's a lot to learn with them. And as far as landing the deal, there's a totally different bidding process than just dealing with a homeowner. The right application to propose to the building owner. There's multiple applications as opposed to in residential, really, two main options that lead the industry. What advice that I would give myself is go for it, honestly. And I wish that I would have went for it a little sooner than what I did, and to trust it and to not be so nearsighted. Early in business, I think it's, especially me, myself, I'm a more conservative kind of guy. Like I want to see the money coming in before I'm willing to spend any money. And I believe that if I started over knowing what I know now, I would have started building the commercial team and started pursuing commercial much sooner than what I did.
Yeah, that's a good answer. Are you still heavily focused on the residential division?
Yeah, definitely. Residential is still a big part of what we do, and that's what we've done for forever, right? We know that, and we know that inside and out. And so me personally, I'm more dedicated personally on our team as far as just managing the commercial growth, the installs, the whole commercial division of our company, where with the residential we're fortunate, man, we've got really, really good people in place that take that horse and they run it, man. And it typically runs itself because we've got the right people on the right team.
What would you say to a residential roofing contractor that maybe does 5 to 10 million and they want to get more into commercial? Do you have any tips for them on how to transition and open up the commercial division and grow that?
They're going to think I paid you, Max, but I'd tell them to spend some money with you. Your platform's unique. It's similar to the stock market, right? You invest the money with you and you just start to wait for the leads to come. If I'm a $5 to $10 million roofing company, most of those, at least for me, whenever I was at that level, I was extremely, because I didn't have the volume to have the big staff to really take care of all of the P's and Q's that it takes to run the business. So I didn't really have time to really dedicate into commercial. Having a platform like yours, it doesn't necessarily require time to get the leads to go bang doors, cold call, do whatever kind of platform that you want to do, go to trade shows, et cetera, whatever source that provides lead generation. So with years, you put the money in, and eventually the leads start to come. And so you can manage your time around the leads as they came in. And that's actually how I started. The first several leads that we ran, I just ran myself for like 6 months, and I figured out the systems. I got on the roofs. I asked a lot of questions. And one intimidating factor about commercial for me is that you get on the roofs and you have no idea. I know shingles inside and out. I know metal inside and out, but I didn't know anything about TPO. I didn't know anything about roof coatings. I didn't know anything about foam. I didn't know anything about mod bit, but I just finally went for it, right? And I'd use your leads to get on the roofs. And then once you get on the roofs, you start asking the right questions. If you've got the right network with suppliers and vendors and crews, it's like an education on steroids. I think that there's 2 ways that you learn commercial roofing. One, it's a lot of experience. But a lot of experience takes time. Or you just get on a ton of roofs and you start quoting a ton of roofs. Our closing percentage is much higher now than what it was 2 years ago whenever we first started, because we've gotten on so many roofs. We've asked so many questions through the bidding process. We bid so many of them wrong, and we bid a lot of them right. And we've won them and done the roofs. And now we have the historical data to go back and look like, hey, we missed it here. We charged too much here.
What's your current closing percentage in commercial?
That's a tough question to answer, because it depends on when you ask me that question, right? Because these leads take so long to close. We're doing one right now. That was a RoofEngine lead. I want to say it was a $380,000 contract, right? It's about a 500 square roof that we're doing 2 different systems on, but it had to detach and reset some solar panels. So I think all in all, it's with the solar panels, it's about $440,000 job. We looked at that job last year. The client never said a word, right? They just responded to the proposal. Thanks, got it. And then all of a sudden this year, come August, he's like, hey, I got to spend this money before the year's out. You guys ready to go? And we're like, damn, guy, where you been? So like answering that what's the closing percentage is kind of tough, man, because there's a lot of them that we haven't closed yet that we're probably likely going to. So I would say 1 out of every 10 leads we're actually installing is what I would think. If I had to just pull it off the hip, because you're going to get some leads that they just don't have the right budget, which is like the hook to get them to call you, right? Or to fill out the lead form, and they have some unrealistic budget that they think that you can coat a roof for $2 a foot and it's 50 squares. You just can't do it. The percentage, I don't know, but I would say that it's 1 out of 10.
Yeah, it's definitely difficult to pin down, because if you're looking at it in like a 6-month window, it's very, very different than like 24 months.
Definitely.
And then very different from like
Definitely
3 years.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think, in every marketing source and that we do collectively as a company for residential and commercial, one of our better residential marketing sources that we've ran for 8 years, we typically average between, for every lead that we get with them, we typically close, and actually, whenever I mean close, I mean actually install, get paid, do the job, 1 out of every 10. So I think that you show me another marketing source that I can close 1 out of 10, and it's reasonably priced, I'm for it, man. So I think that that's a good number still, especially with commercial. And then one thing that you can't track from that is the referrals that you get from it, right? It's a direct lead that comes from a direct source.
Where do you see things going? Like if the economy takes a turn, for the worst after the election, anything like that, how do you plan on kind of keeping the ship moving forward with the commercial sales? Is it more like a cost-effective alternatives, more coating rather than replacement? Do you have a strategy for like tougher times?
Man, I think that if I wanted to sound so talented, brilliant, and smart that I could tell you that I'm going to predict what that tougher time looks like, right, and how we're going to navigate it, I'd probably be doing more than owning a roofing company. But if I could predict that future. So, I mean, Max, the way that my view on that is, I think that I'm just not going to be bound by the fear that politics and the world tries to shove down your throat. Ever since I've started my business, that I've always heard, oh man, there's bad times are coming, man. The market's going to crash. Everything's falling. And I think every person that I know that's had true longevity in any type of business, roofing, you name it, they experienced 2008. They've experienced some tough times, and they all were fed. Their business stayed alive. And what strategy that I have is that I'm going to set myself up correctly financially now during the decent times, that I'm not over leveraged whenever it comes time if we can't survive a downturn. And we've kind of built our business that way to where we're not way overstaffed, to where we can survive a bad year per se. So I know that I didn't directly answer your question the way that you just asked it, but I think that coatings definitely have a place in that, and in a good market. This year has probably been a stiffer market than what we've had the last 5 years. And there's people that have money that are out there, and they're still building owners. I mean, in the roofing space, that people are always going to need roofs. And how we'll pivot if the sky really does fall, I don't know. But I know that the 2 things that I know, man, is that I'm going to trust in God. I'm going to work hard. And I believe that if you hold those 2 balance, if you will, that you're going to be all right. So not overly bound by the fear of what's coming.
It's not the answer I was looking for, but that's the answer I think we all needed.
Yeah.
And I think on that, we'll call it a wrap, because we can't really top that.
Okay.